Hey Gemini, let's do a financial reading, like a tarot reading for people who are dealing with, career, finances, investments, wondering about job situations. I'm going to break this reading down into a couple different categories so we can talk about each of those. Even people who are dealing with negotiations, loans, things like that. Bearing in mind when I do this reading, this is going to be the energy for this month of February. And I am having to disclose, as usual, as per the Ontario regulations, that this is for entertainment purposes only and doesn't replace any financial, medical, professional advice of any sort, to be honest. Legal advice, it doesn't replace legal advice either. It's just for entertainment purposes. But do we love getting into this kind of reading? Absolutely. Yes, we do. Ooh, you know what? Let's get into it. There are two really interesting aspects that just showed up here. If you've ever seen tarot that I read, you know that I like to tap into a more historical approach to tarot. As an example, tarot, if you have two queens, they have a certain meaning. If those two queens are both in the upright, it's its own meaning. If they're both in the reversal, it has a separate meaning even still. And in this case, when you have one queen in the upright and one queen in the reversal, we can take those two different meanings, merge them together, and understand how it pertains to your situation here. As an example, two queens in the upright, that is energies of sincere friends. Two queens that are in the reversal is the energy of people who are working. When you merge the two of them together, all of a sudden you have a dynamic showing up where you could experience in this particular month of February, some kind of theme surrounding your workplace where you might work with friends or have friends that are very close to you, like sincere, good-hearted friends that can help support you in your finances or in your whatever you're dealing with, education, the loans that you're dealing with, the money, the investments, the schools, whichever path you're on, your career, your home business, for some reason in the work that you're doing in the month of February, friends will be here to offer some kind of support. There is one interesting aspect to that dynamic. The sincere friend energy of the queen is sitting next to the card known as the Page of Wands. Traditionally, this is a card of faithful relationships. It can be friends, but it's called the card of the faithful lover. So it has to do with trust, loyalty, fairness. In the reversal, this can be an indication where you or someone that you are dealing with, that there's some trust issues or there is an intimacy problem. This is also a card that can talk about swindling and falsehoods and people who are deceptive. So where on one hand, for some of you, you have the Queen of Pentacles energy, this character that could represent somebody that you believe is a sincere friend. That person may be acting from a more immature perspective because the page is also representative of a youth. It doesn't mean they have to be younger, although for some of you that could be the case, but it's almost like a mind frame that this person has could be a little bit unevolved. They might not realize it. And that it happens to us all the time when we're dealing with friends or we're dealing with family, whoever it is that we're dealing with that's very close to us. Sometimes they mean the best, but they are a little bit unevolved again or immature in their thinking. Now, something that I just thought of is that for some of you, that's the case where they could actually be a little bit immature, but for others of you, a person that you're dealing with that could impact the way you handle your career or your finances or your education or the decisions you're making around things in your house like that, they could actually be deceptive. But the deception could, in one hand, for some of you, be directly towards you. They might not be telling the full truth. They could be omitting something. But for others of you, they are self-deceptive. There's an energy of self-deception here. I also want to mention that it could be you who's self-deceptive. There could be an aspect of you that's trying to trust something, but you're not allowing yourself to trust some kind of a path or some kind of a proposition or pathway. Again, I say path, but like opportunity that you could take with someone that could impact your work or your finances or your money. Let me talk a little bit further about the path and the two queens here. The one queen, this Queen of Pentacles, that is the card of somebody who uses their intellect logically. A lot of people in history talk about the Queen of Swords as being a card connected to intellect. And in modern tarot, a lot of modern tarot readers, YouTube readers, they do think of it like that because the swords can reflect, in a modern sense, the ideas of thought. It's connected to the air signs. But in history, over 100 years ago, Arthur Edward Waite spoke of the Queen of Pentacles, and she was the one who used great intelligence with what she was organizing. Very strategic, very logistical. It indicates, that in this coming February, the decisions that you're making, are not just flippant. They're not trying to come from a place of like being over emotional. You're not trying to make decisions just flying off the coat of your seat kind of thing, but you're trying to make a strategic decision with what it is you're doing. Maybe it's with a contract, maybe it's with a process at your work, negotiations with your boss, looking at the next couple of months going forward. But the Queen of Swords here in the reversal position, this card of grieving, the Queen of Swords, she's the one who's known a lot of sorrow. Sometimes she's associated with loss, including physical loss, like loss of a family member. But it's subsequently sitting under the Five of Wands here, which is a dynamic of recognition, battle, envy, competition. If you add the two of them together, it almost suggests that that people have their eye on you and you don't want to be grieving a loss in front of those people. Like perhaps family of yours, or authorities, or bosses, or teachers, or people in a position of power. They are watching you. They're seeing if you're going to get a hold of the gold of your life, or whatever gold you're working with. Your goal, same synonym as your gold. For some of you, your goal is going to be, trying to navigate the sale of a house. For others of you, you're trying to pass a test. For others of you, you're trying to get a raise. It's almost like you have a frustration or a fear of loss that people are watching and waiting to see if you're going to succeed. Now, when the Five of Wands is a card about other people watching you, there's a story that precedes that card of the Five of Wands with the other cards in front of it, the Three of Wands, the Four of Wands, and then it leads up to the Five of Wands in tarot. And the idea of the Three of Wands, we'll start off by saying that that's a card where somebody has a goal in mind. They go after their goal. In the Four of Wands, they achieve their goal. And in the Five of Wands, other people want that goal. So you could be not just, dealing with somebody in a position of authority watching you, but you might be in competition with somebody else. Like when you go to get a job, you understand that other people are vying for that job. When you are dealing with coworkers, maybe you're in competition with your coworkers. When you're in a school system, maybe you're aware that other people are in the school system with you and you're all trying to get the same, internship. There's an aspect of you competing. Even with a house, if you're dealing with the purchase of a house, sometimes you compete with other sellers, right? Trying to be strategic about this competition in this month seems to be the key. Seems to be the theme, rather. The key, though, is that Ace of Wands card sitting right here. It indicates that a path is about to open up for you in the month of February, where you can go forward to gain a sense of accomplishment and unity with your goal. And an interesting aspect, before we get into the path that's opening up, let's talk about the Knight of Wands here, because the Knight of Wands is historically a card of, in the upright position, it's immigration. The reversal, it's emigration. That's the kind of thing that, yes, has to do with a country. You immigrate into a new country, but immigration can also be when you immigrate into a new program, when you immigrate into a new job, when you immigrate into a new office. Into a new school, into a new course, immigrate into a new house that you just purchased. That's why I like it in the upright position, because it insinuates that you're going to be going into something new, literally changing locations into something new, getting that new job, getting that new course. And again, the Ace of Wands here means a path is opening up for you. What's really nice about the Ace of Wands, though, with this energy, It's in traditional tarot, it's the hand of God that gives this to you. It gives you a new path, whether you want to call it God, Creator, Spirit, Holy Spirit, Ruach, Sophia, Divine Feminine, or if you just want to look at it from a scientific perspective, cause and effect, right? Whatever it is to you, the causes of your past desires are having an effect and opening up a new path. It's a bit of a willpower card because the Ace of Wands deals specifically with willpower. It insinuates that if you keep going forward to get your desire, then eventually something's got to give and your desire gets unfolded into a path so that you can reach that desire. That's for this month in February. That's the dynamic of it. Regardless of the competition, regardless of the fact that you may not trust the situation or you've got people around you that are trying to support one moment, but the next moment you're wondering if they've got the best of understanding, regardless of the grief and the loss and the fear that you have, for some reason the path still opens for you because you keep going. And that's what the Knight of Wands does. Look at the depiction, even on this Gustave Doré deck, which is based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. He's on a horse that acts as a chariot because he's going forward. He's raising that weapon in his hand as he takes charge and says, I'm going into battle. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable battle, although you do have a bit of an uncomfort with this situation. The metaphor of it is to say that you are going forward, you are on a path, and with the Knight of Wands, he specifically knows what he wants. He's like, I want that thing, I'm fucking going for it. So he charges forward. It's kind of like, in this case, he does see the path. The path does open up in this month. But even at certain times in life, when it comes to finances, career, education, your goals, your business, sometimes at first you don't see the path. It's like being at a new job and you started your first day at a new job and you don't know where the cafeteria is or the human resources office. You know there is a path to get to the human resources office, but you've never seen it yet. You've never walked down the hallway yet, so you don't know what it looks like. And then you walk a little down any hallway, and eventually you start to see a little bit of a sign that says, hey, human resources office this way. So you walk a little further. You're not at the human resources office yet, but you walk a little further and you see another sign. And then eventually you find the hallway. There is the hallway there. This is the dynamic. A path that's opening up for you that you may not have been able to see at first, but you are going to see it. It's going to reveal itself as you get further into this month of February. That Ace of Wands too, by the way, because its traditional depiction is the hand of God giving you your desires and giving you the path to fulfill something. It's not a light card. It's not like it's trying to express that you only see a little bit of the path. It's like in the month of February, despite all of this energy, wha-bam, the path opens. You're like, holy shit, this whole time, here's that path. Let me go down it. And in fact, with the Knight of Wands, it's let me charge right into it. Let me sign that paper. Let me contact that boss. Let me send out my resumes because it's going to pay off for you. That's the key to this reading here. Now, I'm going to leave you off with this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to TikTok, and I'm going to do a secondary financial reading, but instead of the main theme of the month like this, I'm going to break it down every single week. I'm going to do a weekly financial reading for you guys, and we'll see if there's a certain week in February that is the best for handing out resumes or the best for signing contracts and documents and all that kind of stuff, right? So that'll be fun, and I'm going to get to do a little bit of a love reading over on TikTok too, so if you're interested in any of those readings, you can head over there. My son is with me right now. He's just playing with a little bit of a doll. Actually, it's one of these. Let me see if I can show you. Those things. See those? Stretch the arms, bud. What? Pull the arm. Yeah, get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. One of those. So if you hear that in the background, don't mind. As you guys help me, as you work with me and my kids, I work with you. So thank you. And I'm going to leave it off like that. I just kind of rambled at the end of that video, but it's okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao for now.